Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news in review for October 20th, 2024, and of course we're seeing everything getting overshadowed by New York Comic Con. So that's going to take up the vast majority of what goes on in the video, but not everything. And I gotta say, there's a major award going out to, well, for those of you who are not too broke to pay attention, yes, that is indeed the Fans Toys Devastator leg. It's a major award. Got a couple of exclusive items to look at. That BBTS 25th exclusive. Pretty slick that they get all these exclusives. And yeah, maybe not everybody's going to buy them, but it's still cool stuff. We've got some old, expensive Voltron getting reissued. And I don't see why. Seriously. And then we have some NECA stuff, cool NECA stuff. We're going to talk about it. Not everything that they're making, though. And then we've got this Sentinal, which a lot of people have been saying negative stuff about. If I was a Marvel Legends collector, I'd be in on this. Then we've got some Star Trek. Now don't mix it up and call it Star Wars because it gets some people angry. And then we got some Superpowers and other stuff from McFarlane. McFarlane's doing a lot right now. Maybe too much. And then we have G.I. Joe, and yes, the Viper is making a comeback. More McFarlane, Lord of the Rings, which I feel like this whole, everything about this was just out of the blue. Maybe somehow I missed any signs that this was coming. And Star Wars. Wow, that's a long intro. Coming up. Alright, so what's new at Shozy Store? Well, they're giving us Masterpiece reveals here. We're getting the Magic Upgrade Kit for their Masterpiece Bruticus G1 version. So you want the G1 stuff. So it's not going to be packed with G1 feet and chest and torso and thigh and all that kind of stuff. But you can buy it separate. I have it pre-ordered, $1 down. Generally, these things usually run $50 to $75. I'm just being honest. That's what I've seen in the past. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm getting it no matter what because this is what I wanted in the first place. And I also hear there's going to be a box set down the road. But, you know, the bird in the hands were two in the bush. So I'm definitely going to keep up with each release as they come out. And if you're like me and you're ordering from Shozy Store, you're not going to get swindled. Because swindle's next. And we're going to get both the legs. We'll be starting off on a solid footing with this. And this is the MSO4, Swindle $1 down, and probably like the 115 like we saw with Brawl. That's my expectation on this, and I'm very excited. I'm building the Legends one at the same time as the Masterpiece, and I gotta say, I feel like the Masterpiece is even way more solid. Very, very pleased with this combiner so far. And you might have noticed I just reviewed this figure. I picked one up, the last one that they did. But this is the one that's supposed to be modified slightly to be held in the hand properly. And I got some really good news on this. It's $25 on Shozy Store. I ordered it right away. And it's not even at pre-order now. It's coming soon, so I just bought it outright. $25. That is way better than the $40 or $50 that they are usually. And I think they're doing it because they've pumped out so many of these that the molds paid for and all that kind of stuff. $25. I don't think it'll last very long. TH reviewer code, by the way. And I don't know if I've talked about this enough. I talked about it once, but I'm going to remind everybody that you can still pre-order Ramjet, the KO Ramjet, $84 if you're into it, which I think an indication when this comes out, I'm sure we'll get the next one. And so having all three of them, they'll come and go pretty fast, I believe. But I do want to point out, Thrust is still in stock. And I also want to say that nobody else is making these right now. I know I sound like a broken record. I probably do. But because here in about 2 weeks, we're going to see November 1st and 2nd and 3rd. We're going to see TFCon Baltimore. And there's going to be a third-party panel. I think that a lot of the reveals that we're going to see there, the third-party companies and all that are waiting for this to reveal it. They got to have something for this TFCon which is why it's kind of quiet on the Masterpiece front. But there's a few things to talk about this week. All right, so X-Transformers put out a video of their misfire. I gotta say this. I'm having a lot of fun with Devastator and another Bruticus. We're getting upgrades to figures I already have. I don't have this in Masterpiece, and I really feel like they only made the one in the Hasbro line in Titans Returns or something like that. So that's a $100 figure. So for the Titan Returns price around that, you're going to be getting the X-Trans Masterpiece, which I think is going to be much better. I really think I need to get both the toy and the tune because I think it's going to be that cool. But getting a new character to me is way more exciting than rehashing Devastator 3 times. But, I mean, what do you think? There's also pictures of a face of what they call the MX-22S Shattered Commander stack. So I'm guessing we've seen some stuff for that, but I don't think we've seen it all. Interesting stuff. A little bit on the teaser side, I think, but cool looking if you're into this kind of stuff. Alright, so we got 3-0 with the MDLX, Acid Storm, and Sunstorm. MDLX being the smaller ones, not the ginormous 15-inch ones. And they are a bit stylized in the Seekers, just repaints. So not much to talk about there, but still pretty interesting. If you're into this, keeping up with it, I don't see anyone else doing this. So kind of like we see a niche in some of these areas that are going to be scratched by... Well, evidently this one's going to be 3-0 with their MDLX, Acid Storm, and Sunstorm. Did they already do the purple one, or is that coming next? 3-0 Age of Extinction Lockdown. This is their deluxe, so deluxe is the large one. And they say it stands approximately 9.5 inches tall. I thought it was going to be bigger than that, but okay. $250 for 9.5 inches tall. And I guess that's okay. I guess that's what it's going to be. If you're interested in this, I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time on it. There's a lot of pictures that you can see that are integrated in this one, and we'll move on. Flame Toys is showcasing their 17 centimeter tall Megatron for Beast Wars. It looks very good, and so this is another one of those where, in my book, from my standpoint, because I kind of look at Beast Wars in a different way, this being stylized is cooler than, say, in a stylized Optimus Prime. To me. But I think it looks really cool. I think they've done a good job with it. 17 centimeters, what is that? Another 9-inch, 10-inch one? No. That's like 7-inch. 17 centimeters is 7 inches. 50 points of articulation. So, company Mighty Jax and Supercraft Lab have teamed up with an impressive Transformers Till All Are One diorama. This is going to be 68 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 51 deep, limited 101 units. And I gotta say this, I don't know the price just yet. Let me see if they've updated that, but as last I checked, I didn't see a price on it. But what I've been told in the past is, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Like $2,400 or something like that. Super 7 is showing their next round, their next wave of reaction figures. They look cool, but they look like stuff we've already gotten. Am I just the only one that feels that way? Just repaints of stuff that we've already gotten, and it's still $20 each. Hey, if you give some repaints for like 10 or 12, that might be a little better. That might sweeten the pot a bit. Alright, I shill for Super 7 Ultimates. I don't shill for the reactions so much. Here we go with a New York Comic Con show floor. This one is the Premium Collectibles Optimus Prime Museum Scale Statue Jet Convoy Edition, and it looks really awesome. Little information. This is more just teasers and showing off. Look how big that is. I mean, what is that? 3 foot, 4 foot tall? I think what we see at New York Comic Con, Hasbro dominates, even though, I mean, it may not all be the best stuff, but there's a lot of it. This one is the Transformers Star Wars Collaborative Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. I kind of appreciate this because I like the N1 Starfighter, but I actually prefer the original versus what they did in Mandalorian. But then I'm kind of in the minority on that one, so turns into a Mandalorian or a Boba Fett lookalike, and that's what it is. I remember when they did all the Star Wars conversions like this, the crossovers back in the day. They did not do well back in the day. I'm curious how well this will do. So I guess it's going to lead into the slideshow. A little bit out of whack this week because of all this that's going on. So, Deluxe Rise of the Beast, Double Punch, which I think they said is a Scorponok recolor or remold. And if you're into this, then you're going to like it. If not, then you probably won't. The Deluxe Dark of the Moon Hatchet. You want to say Ratchet? Hatchet. And that's what it turns into, from that to that. So if you're into that, Dark of the Moon. War for Cybertron Skywarp. And I gotta admit, it looks kind of cool, but it looks like the dev... forgot the name. Anyway, it's a remold of one of the other ones and recolor and all that kind of stuff. A lot of this stuff is just recolors of what they've already made, which I wonder why. Not really. I understand why they want to milk the mold and the budget and make as much as they can. Leader Transformers movie Galvatron number 5. I think it's the 5th iteration of this exact same mold, and it's only slightly different than what they've done in the past. But if you missed it, if you didn't get it for $15 on clearance somewhere, then here's your chance to spend $55 on it. Lucky you. And then Devastator. So we've got... I watched the panel, but I don't remember them talking about Devastator at all. So I might have stepped out of the room during that or something, whatever. I don't know, but I will probably go back and rewatch it because I'm really interested in what they're doing with their Devastator. But we know it's coming. There's no shocker there. And then we got the Naruto Kurami Gamagachi. And yeah, we've seen this, but it's officially announced now. Now, this came from left field, but it's not a shocker at all. I'm not surprised at all that they're reissuing Scorponok. Fantastic figure. If you missed it the first go around, I mean, it was pushing like $325 on the secondary market. And with that, I'm actually thinking about getting one of these for my son. Because I mean, I got mine when they were like $160. But the thing is, I'm hoping for a sale between now and the end of the year on these. And when I checked BBTS, it looked like they were already in stock. I didn't look like a pre-order. It's like you don't hear anything about it. It goes in stock at BBTS. Check BBTS out. I might be wrong on that, but that's where I first saw it. And then now, of course, it's being reported everywhere. But fantastic. If you want this, don't sleep on it. I don't know if it'll be around long enough for sales or discounts, but it's awesome. Jana Toys is showing off their Hollywood Rides kind of crossovers. Optimus Prime, Ghostbusters Ecto 1 graphics with Optimus Prime G1 graphics, official images, and there it is. I won't spend too much time on this, but I figure pass it along if you're into it. It is some cool stuff, and it's kind of something, well, we've never seen before exactly like this. I mean, we've seen the Optimus Prime crossover that transformed into the Optimus Prime with those colors, but these do not transform, and they're different scales. If I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes, I've got to move on from Transformers, so we're moving on quicker than usual because of the fact that we've got so much other stuff to cover. We have this Haslab 325. You're going to get, well, there's two different versions, and although I'm not pulling up those pics, you're going to get basically the Ecto 1 is the 325, and you just get a couple of things. You also get, for the 400, you'll get everything you need to make the Ecto 1 into an Ecto 2, and is my understanding. And you're going to get all these figures included additionally to it. And if we unlock it, you get a Tolly. So I'm probably not going to be in on this. So if you guys unlock this thing, if there's 12,000 by a certain date or something like that, then they're in 2 weeks, then they're going to throw this guy in. So that's kind of a cool one. I'm on the fence. And my problem is that I'd only buy the $400 one because I want the figures in the episode 2 or the second movie clothes. So I just don't see backing it for the lower one at all. I would have to get the deluxe at $400, but it also comes with Slimer and some other stuff. But cool. I'll be talking a lot more about this in the future. Obviously, we're a bit pressed for time today because there's so much going on, but it is a good campaign, solid campaign. I just don't know if I'm deep enough into Ghostbusters for it. Okay, so we've got Nacelle showing off some of their Star Trek-y stuff that's going on. And that looks pretty cool. It is quite interesting, and that brings me to wondering about a few things with them. I believe these are all the ones that they're doing in their first wave. This is what they're showing so far, so I'm not 100% sure on all the names and all of that. I'm not that deep into Star Trek, but I see some of them that are familiar to me. It's cool. Don't know if I'll be in on any of them, but their price point is pretty reasonable usually, so I'm really happy that they're doing this. Here is their Moo Mesa figure, which it's really cool. Oddly enough, I'm kind of more interested in that than the Expanse, because I don't know anything about the Expanse. It's kind of like the owner's personal goal, something he wants to achieve and make for himself, more or less, but he's making it for everybody. But the Moo Mesa stuff, I never even heard of it, but I like it because he's making it and it makes him look good. So I might get some of that. Pretty cool stuff going on here. All right, let's quickly talk about the X-Men 97 Sentinel. The thing about this is that it's going to be $175, 4 inches shorter than the last Sentinel, and looking super cool. I think this one looks better than the other Sentinel, personally. That's my personal preference. I don't have a Sentinel preference other than just looking at the two and saying I think this one looks cooler. I'm surprised we don't see a whole bunch of side-by-sides, but we will eventually. This is interesting if you're a Marvel Legend collector. Now I'm not, and X-Men 97 and a couple of these other things are the ones I pick them up like on the side, and just the ones I want, not even all of them, not a completist or anything. So this is not for me, but if I were in the game, I'd like this the most. So that's kind of the way I see it. Curious what everybody else thinks. All right, looking at some NECA stuff we got going on here. We've got NECA Sesame Street, and I think these all look really good. I don't know if I'm in on buying these or not. Well, I'm going to tell you something I already said I wasn't going to buy that I just bought today, but I'll explain all that here in a bit. So when I see these in the store, I might not be able to say no, especially the count. I mean, I think if I get any of them, it's the count. Bert and Ernie are cool too. Rubber Ducky are the one. So really cool stuff that they're making, and I'm actually curious how big this market really is. And the Pee Wee Herman figure looks really good. I will definitely pick up a Pee Wee Herman figure for my Pee Wee Herman display. I mean, definitely have to have Pee Wee Herman. Paul Rubens, I mean, R.I.P. buddy. But his little heads, his extra heads on those posts for display purposes, reminds me of an old B movie called Terror Vision. I mean, have y'all seen Terror Vision? If you haven't, you probably should. All right, this is Iron Maiden, these figures right here. I just got to say that if you know, then you know, right? Because I absolutely do not know. And it's interesting and cool looking figures. It's like box art or album art or something like that. Is that what's going off of here? Still, they look really cool. I just don't have any tie to it other than, is that just album cover art? Yes, I have to admit, yes. I bought the Alf on the left. And I kind of want the Alf on the right too. The boss. I don't know. I'm not very happy with Bruce Springsteen these days. Maybe I'm gonna pass on that one. But I did get the one on the left, the one that's the No Problem shirt. I have to tell you that having it in hand and looking at it, there was no way I was gonna put it down. Like I in pictures, I said no, I'm not buying it. Nope. I'm gonna be strong and not buy it. But also, Target had on my app, there was like 10 off of 60, and then the $5 or 5% for the red card. It seemed okay, and I got that, and I got a Planet of the Apes warrior figure. So pretty cool stuff from NECA. I think the horror stuff is really popular right now this time of year because we got Halloween coming in like a week and a half or something like that. So it's coming pretty soon. And you got the little kids in their trick-or-treat costumes. I think Super 7's doing something similar to that too. But anyway, cool stuff. This is said to be another NECA picture. So, NECA horror. I have to admit, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to report everything that McFarlane is doing. It's just insane. Anyway, here we go with some Batmans and then a unique chase character over there on the right. Those are 7-inch scale Batman Beyond, Batman Noel, Batman with Ace the Bat Hound, Steel Commander, Sinestro, Parallax, and then Green Lantern Hal Jordan Metallic. Okay, she missed the other one. And then Superman Action Comics 1000 variant. I do have to say this week also, and I don't think I have a picture of it, this it's up for pre-order at BBTS and other places, but you can get another Superman that's very retro. I like that one. I'm tempted. It's $30. Here we go with Aquaman, Superman, The Flash, Batman. They all have some metallic look to them too. Build-A-Figure waves. I'm not sure. They're ultra articulated. I'm not sure what the Build-A-Figure is. Then there's a 7-inch vehicle for this version of the Batmobile. Now I have the original of this Batmobile. I bought literally a huge box for like $20 that had every Batmobile in it, which is the only way I got my 1990 Batmobile, by the way. But I started digging through that box. I'm like, yep, there it is. It's in there. The guy was right. He had everything for like only $20, so that was cool. But now it makes it hard to spend the amount of money they want on this. Probably be the $75 price point, I guess. I don't know. But I don't need this version. I'm a 1989 Batman kind of guy. All right, 7-inch action figures and the live at the Murray Franklin. Is it a Murray Franklin set there? But I mean, I guess you could fill in any one of those talk show hosts you want to and just say that's their set. But I'm sure it has something to do with the Joker and Batman and all that fun stuff. It's not a toy. This is not a toy. Then we have in stores now the 6-inch Build-A-Figure wave going on right now. I think we've seen this before, but we'll move on fast. I don't know if I'm still in on this. It's available at Target. I got the first wave and part of the second wave, but I'm just not into it enough myself personally to keep spending the money on it. But I am into the 6-inch figure here. Now, we've seen these before, but the Clock King, I definitely have to get that. Definitely have to get the Wonder Woman. Definitely have to get the classic Batgirl. I guess I definitely have to get them all when I see them. It's just, I haven't pre-ordered these. I've stopped with the pre-ordering of these things. I've been finding them cheaper at GameStop and deals on them. Here is the 6-inch vehicle of the Batgirl Cycle, which I think that's cool because it's something you just never ever see. And that is one thing I'll give to McFarlane, is they give you stuff you've never seen. And this day and age, I'm more interested in something different I've never seen before or ever had than the 7th version of the exact same thing. It turns me off seeing even a second version of something I already have. 5-inch action figures for spring of 2025. So this is the Superpowers line, and I don't know all these. Some of them look really cool, like the Lobo, and I mean another Robin, the Atom, the Flash, Batman, and then Superman. Regeneration suit. I'm getting behind on that line. Speaking of getting behind on that line, I don't even have the first 3-pack. Now we're getting Green Lantern, Hour Man, and does it say Starman? Whatever all that is. I didn't get the first 3-pack. Now I'm out. I don't know if I'm getting this 3-pack, but this Supergirl is in 1/8 scale resin statue. I think it looks nice. It's quite interesting. All right, so now we're getting into these. This is let's try to move through this pretty quick. The MDLX from 3-0 Mega Man Firestorm. So he's in the red and yellow color scheme. Cool looking stuff if you're into that. And then the Mumra is in the black and red version. BBTS 25th anniversary, and it looks cool. $75 for that Mumra. He looks cool. I just can't bring myself to spending $75. But all these exclusives, when they sell out, go ridiculously crazy on the secondary market. So if they sell out and you don't buy it, then you just probably don't own it. That's just the way it is. But he does look cool. But I think I've got 4 versions of Mumra already. A 5th version. But see, Brian Flynn always believes that Lion-O, Mumra, those really top tier main characters always sell. That's why we get these repaints. There is so much news. Trying to keep it all straight is such a challenge, but somehow this line slipped past me. It's like a 5-inch line, Lord of the Rings, and I literally don't know much about it. And I didn't see anything like any other information other than when I got this from Toy Art. So it's cool, but the really cool thing is this ridiculously ginormous playset. And one of my buddies just, he told me about it today. And I was like, what? There it is. It's huge. It is cardboard, but it looks really good. I mean, if they're going to make a cardboard playset like this that you could customize too. I mean, if it's made out of cardboard and it all kind of clips together, you can do what you want with it, basically. And that is awesome. Yes, I understand. Some people are going to say, well, it's cheap. I wish it was plastic and all that. But I don't know the price just yet. But it is massive. I think this picture puts it in perspective the best. How huge it is. I definitely don't have space for it. But I can appreciate it. And it's almost something you want to buy just to have, say, well, if I move my display around, I can work this into it. And, yep, there it is. Pretty awesome. I think they started with those display pieces with the Batman 66 line. And then kind of worked into something like this. I mean, impressive. If this was plastic and tooled and all that, I mean, it would have been hundreds of dollars. And I bet you it's like 60 or 70 bucks or maybe even 100. But it's not 300. All right, we're running out of time. Time to rock and roll with G.I. Joe Retro Rock and Roll. Okay, this guy looks really good and more reminiscent of his first look. And guess what? I have to admit, I mean, I've said this and I got a lot of people hating on me for it. I don't really like the way the first 10 of the 13 look, and to spice it up a bit, I'm okay with it. It's like a spiced up version of his first rock and roll figure, which out of the first 10, he's one of the better ones. He's probably the number 3 in the top of the first 10. But it does look like it's got a bit of modernization from that figure. So I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. It's okay. I will definitely pick it up. But speaking of definitely pick it up, I'm going to pick up the Pace, pick up the original. This thing was not made in New York City. This is Dr. Mindbender. And for those who've been, how much is he on the secondary market? Like, he was originally 40 on Pulse and then went up to like 120 or something, but settled down around 60 to 80 or something. But to get a $25 one of him that you don't have all the extra weird accessories, but he still looks awesome. And the first one did not have this on the back, and this one will have this on the back. So it's one of those weird things. On one hand, you can say they screwed those people that paid the 40 originally, and definitely those who paid 120. Now for 25 you get this one. Or on the other hand, you could just look at it and say that they learned from their mistakes and are doing better. I mean, am I right? Anyway, this is what he comes with, and that's all he comes with. I will definitely be picking him up, and probably a couple, because I love the retro line. That's my favorite part of Classified. I do want to point out Classified is the reason that G.I. Joe is really making a comeback. I mean, G.I. Joe has been latent, but Classified has made people more excited for it. All right, we got Footloose and Fancy Free. Look at him. He looks good. I don't know what I would change about him. I don't know if I would say that it's good or bad. It's decent. I wouldn't... The problem is the character, the figure, and all that kind of stuff, they're giving us this already looking in the retro mode, which is what I want. It's what I want. So, I don't know how they'd make it any more retro for a retro one, but I guess we saw Mindbender doesn't look a whole lot different either. But I think he looks great. It's what I would want in a Footloose. I have no complaints. Yeah, the head sculpt even looks pretty good. Now, we've got this. I'm going to try to find the picture that shows it all. So, we've got this thing that people are joking as an outhouse, but it's kind of like one of those small world building things that were like $5 back in the day. And it's incorporating more world building into your 6-inch classified scale. And it includes a third or fourth recolor of the Alley Viper. Looks cool. I still don't have the Crimson Alley Viper. I don't know how I missed that and don't have it, or my pre-order got canceled or something. But until I get the Crimson Alley Viper, I have no need for this. So that's what I'm saying. This here is the Fireman, and I haven't gotten any of those 60th anniversary ones either. So far from a completist on this line is the mic. I just don't care. It's cool, it's interesting, and some people out there will love this. I mean, I always get somebody chiming in going, this is the exact thing I wanted out of the line, and cool. I mean, if people get what they want, it's awesome. If it's not for you, like in my case, this is not for me, I won't buy it. But for others that like it, I mean, I'm happy it's there. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta go check something. All right, yeah. Okay, I checked my display. I already have a Snake Eyes, so I guess I don't need another Snake Eyes. So I won't be ordering this. But this has the mass device and a bear, and it looks like he did. It looks like the one Snake Eyes that Super 7's already made, right? And already did better than this. So I'm not sure if this is going to sell well. Hey, I'll buy it at Ollie's or something, but I do not need this. I like the mass device stuff included, but are you going to have to buy a bunch of figures that you're just rebuying the 8th version of Snake Eyes and a bear I don't really want? Some people might want to get the mass device stuff. I mean, that kind of sucks, but will we get a shot at all the mass device stuff at once? Who knows? They're making Dark Lawn, and it's one of those things, if I didn't have this figure as a kid, I probably wouldn't like it so much, but yeah, I like it. I dig it. I mean, I got the vintage one, and I will be covering that when I get to that point, but in the videos with the Retro Wednesday. This is just a picture, though. We don't even have a render of what they're doing with the figures, so. Crystal Ball, the most notorious vintage G.I. Joe peg warmer, aside from maybe Iceberg. I felt like this one, Iceberg, warmed pegs super hard, but you know, the weird thing is trying to get this guy's lenticular sticker on his shield, depending on the time of year and just accessibility, it's really hard. It is. Like 2 years ago, I gave up. I recently found one, but I mean, it is really hard. I'm not sure if they're going to do lenticular sticker or what they're going to do with that. So be kind of cool. They're making the Thunder Machine. Obviously, it's a Thunder Machine. I've heard people saying they think it's going to be the AWE Striker. I'd rather the AWE Striker because that's one of my favorite vehicles. I also love the Thunder Machine, but I think the AWE Striker would be a much cheaper one. The Thunder Machine is going to be like $175 or something stupid. So that's the problem with the Thunder Machine. The AWE Striker would be about the $100 price point with a figure packed in. So, anyhow, just, yeah, it's definitely Thunder Machine. Especially since they've quadrupled down on Dreadnoks. Super 7 Ultimate Scissor Face Imposter. I have no idea what the heck this is. I have no idea. But it looks cool. And looking cool is almost enough to make you want to buy it. Yeah. I might. I don't know. Kind of has that kind of Thundercats background vibe to it with the LJN. Alright, so I don't want to forget about this. Toonami making a reissue of their, what they call Masterpiece version of their Voltron. I gotta say, this was very disappointing when I got it. And I got mine used, and down the road, I will say they are doing the back metal version, which I commend them for that, because that is the one I like more. And then the back metal one, I think they made two versions, a plastic and a die cast. I would prefer the die cast, even though the problem with the die cast is that the hip joints can't, and the shoulder joints can't really handle the weight as well. So the plastic one operates better. Plastic and back metal is actually the superior version of this mold. But I just love diecast, so I would make it work. I would just make it work. But $300, I mean, go get you a 3.0 or put that towards a KO of the Blitzway or something, because this thing's super dated. Well, let's go ahead and call this. This is the Vintage Collection Sabrine Wren Howler and Sabrine Wren 2-pack. It's going to cost like $50 or something. The figure's always $17, and then the two, I don't know what it's going to cost, but it's alright. It's cool if you're into this. I probably won't be spending money on it until I get it at Ross or Ollie's, or not at all. I mean, and I am the guy that's like, I'm not going to jump on it. I might jump on this Imperial Stormtrooper, it is kind of cool. Looks like it's got soft goods. It looks pretty good, and definitely an upgrade to what they did the last go around. And yeah, pretty cool if you're into all of these. Vintage Collection, I do think Vintage Collection is probably the best space for Star Wars to exist and to thrive, but Black Series is dead. It's just the way it is. Dr. Evazan, another cool one, very iconic scene and something that gets our blood flowing. Problem is, they're gonna make Dr. Evazan, and it's like, well, you know, it's not one that's helping us finish this 96. Like, who do we still need? 2-1B, Metadroid, and some of those. And they're gonna say, oh, there's not enough interest in this guy, so nobody likes original trilogy. That's one of the problems with Hasbro and the way they look at it. But here is a skeleton crew. We've seen this before, the Brutus Captain Pirate, and it looks okay. And then this is another skeleton crew figure, the Whim at Atin, whatever that means. Alright, I guess. I haven't seen the show. Probably never will. But then here we go with the Jod in a Naywood. Not available. Naywood. Is that what that means? Yeah, anyway. I'm sure he's a cool character. The actor probably does a good job and all that. Worked really hard at it, but probably won't get off the ground. And then there we go with some mainline stuff. Fall of 2024. It's coming fast. I mean, is the show on? Is the show on? I don't know. Right, so if you missed out on the Black Series Clone Commander Cody, and you missed out on the Cody reissue, if you missed out on the Cody Archive, and his other brother's reissue, and his other brother's they're all brothers. You get the Revenge of the Sith if you want this. Now, I think this one's going to cost $30 though. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not buying it. I got one. Even though I don't like clones, I already have this in my collection. But it's cool. I like that they kind of reminisce on the packaging. But curious what everyone thinks about this guy. Alright, let me know what you think about this week's weekly news in review. And I know I missed a lot, so fill me in on what else that I missed so I can go look it up, put it maybe in a Tuesday video or something along those lines. And I'm not a meme maker, so I milk the meme like companies milk their molds. But let me know about all this, like and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out.